Hello and welcome to World Talks with me, Ashim Kumar. The 17th of June marks the 35th anniversary of the signing of the Polish-German Good Neighbourship Treaty. The two countries have had a complex relationship for many decades, but how do things stand today? Well, with Maria Skóra, we examine the economics, politics and future of one of Europe's closest partnerships. Maria, welcome back to TVP World. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you very much for having me.
So in 1991, this treaty was signed. What was the thinking behind it?
Well, there were actually two treaties signed in the 90s. The border treaty in 1990, which was pivotal because it was the recognition of the border. It confirmed Poland's western border along the Odra and Neisse River, and it was a waiver of claims. Germany renounced all territorial claims against Poland. And then in 1991, this Treaty on Good Neighborhood and Friendly Cooperation was signed that you mentioned. It's 35 years this year. Until today, it is the most important document governing those bilateral relations between Poland and Germany. And it, to much extent, refers to what we would call citizen diplomacy, cultural cooperation. It is guaranteeing the rights of national minorities, the German minority in Poland and Poles in Germany. It's about youth cooperation, promoting integration and exchange. It's facilitating the establishment of institutions, promoting dialogue, protection of memorial sites. But back then, 35 years ago, that treaty also had an important geopolitical dimension. Germany vowed its support for Poland's integration with the West, committed to supporting Poland's efforts to join the European Union and NATO. And this was in that context, a post-Cold War context. Once German reunification happens, the Iron Curtain fell down, the Berlin Wall fell down. This was a restart, rejuvenation of Polish-German relations. And also in this context of Germany supporting its eastern neighbor in further development and reintegrating with the West. And bottom-up relationships were the more facilitated by Poland's later EU membership, migration, tourism, business. This all develops very well, but 35 years later, that prior format, old format, has outlived its usefulness. Poland and Germany are completely different countries now. Europe is completely different now. The world is different now, and hence the need of signing a new treaty. The situation in Europe, especially after America's unpredictability and withdrawal from Europe, changing security architecture calls for changes and also change between Poland and Germany. And this is where we stand today.
Understood. Thank you very much for laying that out. Now, you talk about, the need to rethink what the treaty should contain today, because we're in a different world. But what is it that it should contain that isn't already covered, for example, through the EU relationship and the NATO relationship the two countries have already?
Well, I think, in Polish-German circles, we usually talk about what could be improved. And, the truth is the greatest room in the world is the room for improvement. So I think a few things could still be done, could still be improved. The question is always in what format and how to do it. The benchmark named by some for Polish-German cooperation is the French-German cooperation and the French-German treaties. And the analogy is perhaps not ideal. The relationship between Poland and Germany is different than Poland and France. So I think we should look for our own unique format. And currently, we need a fresh start and elevate this relationship to a more partnership, to become a more partnership at eye level, because the closer cooperation between Poland and Germany is a stronger Europe. And when I see the main areas which are both needed and realistic to work on to materialize this relationship is investing in common security and defense, which is currently on the table, expanding infrastructure and cultural cooperation, and addressing the issues related to the history between Poland and Germany. And this is a constant sphere of still content between Poland and Germany here. And many things, some things demand still resolving.
Indeed. Let's start with the security aspect, though. How would you characterize the combined response between Poland and Germany to the war in Ukraine? Do you think it could be better, and if so, how?
Well, I think the response of Europe towards this war could be better, more decisive or more coordinated. Europe has to really not only react to what is happening in the East, but also react to, as already mentioned, America's, the United States withdrawal from the existing security architecture. So I would say that Poland and Germany have been cooperating at the military level through the NATO structures, but also within the EU framework. However, a little over a year ago, Poland and France granted each other bilateral guarantees, and last week a similar treaty or agreement was signed between Poland and the UK in London, and there was expectation that perhaps now it's time for Polish-German bilateral guarantees in the security and defense area, that it's time for it now. However, it seems it won't yet be the case. This upcoming military agreement to be signed next week or on 17th of June, it's by some described as less ambitious and modest than it could be. Berlin and Poland, they fear perhaps some hurdles on the way of ratifying a full treaty, so it will be just an agreement between defense ministers. And most probably it won't expand beyond the already existing bonds between Poland and Germany within NATO and within the EU. There still are no plans for a permanent military presence of German troops in Poland. There's still a relatively limited cooperation in defense industries. What will change is the participation of German engineering troops in the construction of Eastern Shield. But by experts, by commentators, this cooperation at security and defense level is not sufficient. But as always, and in particular in the case of Poland and Germany, such treaties are very sensitive and subject to political developments and current political affairs. And perhaps it's also the case of this military cooperation.
Understood. Some work to be done on that front. But there is another front which needs some attention, and that is the German car industry. Clearly, Europe is facing substantial competition from China in the automotive industry. And, of course, that affects Poland's economy too, because a large proportion of the spare parts for German cars are made in Poland. Do you believe that there is some room for the two countries to work together to address this competitive threat?
Well, they definitely should, but it is the very crucial element of the Polish-German relations, the economic dimension of it. Poland is the fifth trade partner with Germany, and is also a vital part in its production chains. So the German car industry is, of course, challenged, especially by Asian producers, Chinese producers of e-mobility. Germany sort of overslept and missed that moment when electromobility was becoming a thing. And this crown jewel, the German car industry, is also suffering through the relations now with the United States and tariffs. So it is crucial for Poland, but not only in this area, the car industry, but in generally to cooperate on improving the condition of German economy, because these two are very interconnected. That also it refers to the Visegrad for German car industries, also present in Slovakia and Hungary. So we are all very interconnected as a region, and unfortunately or unfortunately, whatever happens in one country inevitably affects the other. So this is our common cause to think about improving the competitiveness and overcoming such structural changes in order to flourish together and continue growing together.
Indeed, some changes need to be made in the general economic infrastructure between these countries, perhaps. Maria Skóra, as always, thank you very much for sharing your analysis with our audience, and have a good evening.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. As always, lots more coming up, so don't go away. Bye.